There are so many games that I've played over the years that I really wish I can experience again, but for various reasons, I can't. I'm not able to play these games anymore, and it makes me really sad. So today I'm going to talk about all the different games that I miss the most and would love it if I ever got the opportunity to play again. Now, if there was one game out of all of them that I could play and I could only pick one, it would definitely be Uncharted 2. A lot of people may be confused at that. Uncharted 2, not only can you play it still on the PS3, you can buy a disc and play it on your old PS3, which obviously everyone knows I have because I made a video on it, but also, you can play it remastered on PlayStation 4 through the Nathan Drake collection, and also you could play it on PS5 through backwards compatibility. So if I really miss it that much, I can just go back and play it, right? Well, no, because I'm actually talking about the online multiplayer for Uncharted 2, which I know isn't the first thing that most people think of when they think about Uncharted 2. They think about the epic single-player campaign, but for me, multiplayer is by far what I got the most enjoyment out of and spent the most time playing, to the point where I would actually say Uncharted 2 is my favorite online third-person shooter that I have ever played, and it's not even close. That's how much I loved it, and would really love it if I could play again. I've seen videos online of Uncharted 2 being played again through custom servers, but the most recent video I've seen of that was almost a year ago, and I don't know if that's actually still a thing or not, because I looked in the Discord server that revived the game, and it seems like almost everyone is just playing Uncharted 3, or if they are playing Uncharted 2, it's co-op, not the actual PvP, so I don't know what the deal is with that, and I've tried to look into it and haven't really found anything that indicates that it's still active and has much of a player base. But I have so many amazing memories playing this game online, staying up so late on school nights, couldn't get enough of it. It was so much fun, and I've never experienced anything like it since. I liked Uncharted 3, but it just didn't feel the same. It didn't hit the same way that Uncharted 2 did. And I don't even want to talk about Uncharted 4 multiplayer. That's just not good. And there's actually a lot of games from the PS3 era that are the ones that I miss the most and would love to play again. Mod Nation Racers is another one, which the servers are back online, and I could play again, theoretically, but the problem is all the old creations, all my custom racetracks, and the ones that were around 15 plus years ago, those are all gone. And it's, community servers, but it's starting over from scratch. Same thing with Little Big Planet. I loved Little Big Planet 1 and 2, and there are private servers for those as well, but again, all of those levels are gone, and it kind of ruins the replayability, because that was the heart of the game, and the experience was all of that custom content, and part of me wanting to go back would be to re-experience all of those levels and racetracks and everything that I played in those games back in 2009, 2010, 2011, that aren't there any longer. As great as it is that the servers are still online, I love that, but I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of games that I can miss, and there be a part of me that wants to come back and play them again, but even if there is a way to play in 2026, it just doesn't feel the same way. It doesn't hit the same way as it did back in the day, so there's a part of me that misses it but doesn't really want to play it again. I think PlayStation Home is probably the best example of that, where, yeah, it's brought back and you can play it again, but nothing compares to being a kid that has no idea what the hell he's doing, just wandering around this virtual world, talking to strangers, talking to random people, never really playing anything like it before, and, inviting my friends after school to my virtual crib, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I could play it again as an almost 30-year-old man, but I don't know. It just feels kind of weird now to do that. Same with, like, a bunch of other online worlds that I was really invested in back in the day, like Build-A-Bearville, Nicktropolis, Webkins. Like, sure, there is a way to come back and replay at least some of those games. I know Build-A-Bearville is being brought back by a group of modders, and Webkinz never went anywhere. You can actually just go back to your old Webkinz account, and everything is there the way it was back in 2007, which I did log in and go back to it, but didn't really get any enjoyment out of it. So there could be like a part of you that misses these things, but also recognizes that it's part of a long-lost era of not just gaming, but your life. You know? Oh, also Tamatown, too. Did you guys ever play Tamatown after school? It was another online virtual world where you can connect your Tamagotchi to your computer and play them on desktop through this virtual world that was kind of like Nicktropolis and, you know, Webkinz and all the other ones that were around back then. I actually recently looked up the soundtrack on YouTube for Tamatown, and it unlocks so many old memories from like 20 years ago. It was insane. That was great. But if I could think of more games that I would love to play again and really, really miss, and if I ever had the chance to, I would definitely play it at least one more time. MAG. Oh my god. Do you guys remember MAG? 256-player first-person shooter on the PS3. Oh man, it was so much fun. And it was so crazy having all those players at the same time in one map. But realistically, even if the servers were brought back somehow, will you actually get 256 people to come in and play the game again? Probably not. So that's one of the games that, like, I'll probably never in my life be able to play again and experience it the way that it was. And then I have a bunch of weird games that people probably are like, really? These are the games that you wish you could play again? The GoldenEye reboot / remake on the Wii. I loved the online multiplayer. The campaign was pretty decent too, but oh my god, I loved playing the game online, even though by that point I was already fully invested on the PS3 and 360, and that's where I played my games like 95% of the time. My Wii was essentially collecting dust, but oh man, I always booted it up to play some GoldenEye, and never got tired of that. It was so much fun, and I don't think anyone's playing that anymore. Conduit 2 was another fun Wii online FPS that I also wish I could play again. Mario Kart Wii, that's another one that, oh man, it's probably my favorite racing game of all time. I looked into playing it online, but I don't have a physical Wii anymore, and you can play it online through Dolphin, but the server won't let you connect unless you verify with an actual Wii console, which I'm like, that defeats the entire purpose of an emulator. I don't understand that, but I would love it if I could play that again somehow. Talking about James Bond and really fun multiplayer games, 007 Bloodstone on the PS3. I had a lot of fun with that too. It was a third-person shooter that was very similar, actually, to Uncharted 2, and had a great campaign also. Very underrated game that not enough people talk about. I know Fearslayer's gonna pull up in the comments section and have something to say about that, because that's the biggest James Bond fan that I know. I'm not sure if they think Bloodstone is good or not. I guess I'll find out. And then another one that most people probably don't know about, Blacklight Tango Down, was a really fun sci-fi first-person shooter on the PS3 and 360. It actually had crazy amounts of weapon customization that we've never really seen in a multiplayer game before, and it was really cheap too. It was only like $15, and I had the time of my life. I have seen videos of people playing that game online, but the whole setup seemed really complicated to me, and the community also appears to be very, very small, so I don't know if I'll ever actually try to dip my toes and play the game again. I would like to, though. A lot of pro wrestling video games that I played online back in the day, SmackDown vs. Raw 2009, 2010, 2011, 13, 14, and All-Stars, too, if you guys ever played that game. That was also a lot of fun. Those games were a blast to play online, but unfortunately, you can't really play them online anymore. I think the servers do work for a few of those games, but the community creations are shut down, and that was also the main point of playing the game, is the custom community content that no longer exists. Just like Little Big Planet and Mod Nation kind of takes away from me having any interest in really going back and playing it again. Garry's Mod Jailbreak, that was one of my favorite game modes in Gmod. absolutely nobody plays it anymore. I found one server that still exists, but they only play Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, which I'm never available to play. I would love to play Jailbreak again and be a warden and go through all that. It's so much fun. I don't know why people stop playing Jailbreak. I really don't understand. And then finally, the last game that comes to mind of games I really, really miss and would love to come back and experience again was a game that was recently shut down a few years ago, Battlefield 1943. Such an underrated gem, and honestly one of the best Battlefield games of all time. I still hate EA for shutting the game down for no reason, because there were still a lot of players that played prior to the shutdown. But let me know in the comments, what are some games that you miss the most and wish that you could play again? Can't wait to read all your comments and see all your different experiences. Until next time, bye.